This is Let's Talk Business with your host, Marc Ebinger. Now, here's Marc.
Welcome to Let's Talk Business, the show that talks entrepreneurship with some of the best businesses in the San Antonio area. Coming up on the show today, we're going to talk with Michael Bender, a networking expert and the owner of Gravity Party Rentals. Mike, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Marc. Appreciate the invite. I like what you're doing here. The show is great. I think it's important for San Antonio to have a platform like this for business owners to come in here and kind of explain what they're doing and network and meet people and grow.
Absolutely, and that's what we're all about. A lot of networking happens actually on the show, right?
A lot of meetings set and information passed. I love it.
Yeah, I think Heather does more business on the show than I do. But it's all good.
I'm like, let's book a coffee.
It's all good. All right, we're also going to talk with Michael's business partner, Keenan, a networking expert as well, and an owner of Gravity Party Rentals. So, Keenan, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Bad man. So, of course, I'm here in studio with us today is Heather Boehme. I almost got twisted up on my notes because we did the practice. But so Heather Boehme, she's a certified business coach that works with business owners to gain clarity and achieve their goals. And, of course, my business coach. Heather, welcome back to the show.
Always glad to be here.
Bet. Of course, I'm your host, Marc Ebinger, the owner of Crükus Marketing Agency, a company that specializes in giving small businesses a competitive edge by hiring low-cost administrative and social media experts from outside the United States. I love hiring people that are better at stuff than I am. You know what I mean? Especially when I can afford it.
For sure,
Talking about
definitely.
All right. Quick reminder for our listeners, you can catch video and podcast versions of the show anytime by visiting our website at satalkradio.com. And if you are a business owner or a fireman, right, in the San Antonio area and like to have your company featured on the show, visit our website at satalkradio.com or call our office at 210-960-8210. That's 210-960-8210, and we can get you booked up on the show. If you're outside of San Antonio, you could always fly in or something. I don't know.
Yeah, flight's on you.
You can pay for the flight.
So
tax-free.
time management is a thing that entrepreneurs we have to deal with. So, Heather, what are your thoughts on some ways for entrepreneurs to improve their time management skills? And I know, of course, we've got a couple firemen in here, and firemen are notorious for, in a good way, for doing not only their job, but doing extra stuff on the side, right, to bring more revenue for their family,
Correct.
stuff like that. So, time management, what are your thoughts?
So with time management, I think it comes down to recognizing what you are actually doing and then making the decision on what really needs to be done. I have an exercise where we do a to-do list and a should-do list, and I call it the 4 Ds. Dump it, delegate it, delay it, or do it. So you can either look at your list and is it something you could just not do and like it won't negatively impact you? Just don't do it. Sometimes we have to make that decision. Delegate it. Can someone else do it at a higher level or just even at a level that you're willing to accept? Delay it. Does it have to be done right now? Is it the most important thing you do right now, or is there something more important that needs your time and energy? And then if you've gone through those 3, just do it.
So, Mike, how do you do with time management? Do you think you're good at it, or
I think
it's always a work in progress, right?
It's always a work in progress. You're never going to be a master at it, but I think I pretty much do what Heather just brought up. Maybe not the same way, but I went to school for business, and you're exposed to all the Microsoft Office. So I try to put everything on spreadsheets, and I realized by writing stuff down, it frees up your mental capacity for other things, and your clarity is a little bit better. But I like to give myself deadlines. So when we first started this, I did make like a long list of stuff that needed to be done and put some anticipated dates that I wanted those things to get done, and it kind of helped us get the ball rolling a lot faster.
How did you guys figure out who was going to do what in the business? Who delegated that? Or did you guys kind of like agree, like, this is my area of expertise? Or have you guys figured that out?
Yeah, I'll let Keenan jump in on that one.
As he was saying, when we first started, he took a lot of the forefront of everything, and he made sure that we actually had certain roles and positions, and then under those roles and positions, we had certain things that we were, supposed to be doing. So I can kind of piggyback off of what he was saying as far as like time management, scheduling, things like that. I think he did a really good job of creating a space for us to be able to hold ourselves accountable, especially with what we're supposed to be doing to make the business grow. So with that being said, yeah, I mean, we still do that to this day. We talk about it, whatever the needs are, and then we just go from there. But, we kind of break them up, just kind of make sure that we have just time to actually tackle all the things that we need to, because we do try to focus on networking and some of the social media aspects. And I know that a lot of that can take a lot of the time from doing just, the physical aspect as well. So that's what we like to do.
When you say we like to do, that's your method?
Yeah,
that's your
definitely.
method.
That's our method.
So you guys are both firemen. So can I ask your ranks?
We're both at the bottom of the totem pole. We're
Okay.
both just
Firefighters.
or privates is another word that they use.
Okay. So I guess that's kind of good, too, because it might be weird working for a supervisor or something like that. But have you guys been on this about the same amount of time?
No, I've been on going on 8 years.
Yeah,
Keenan?
going on 3.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
What'd you do before this?
I worked at Chase. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I was a banker for a little bit.
Why'd you want to be a fireman?
I don't want to be a banker anymore.
That's a good reason. Now you got to
Try
carry
to do
fire
everything
hoses.
like the most opposite thing that you could do is being a banker. I was like, all right, let me do something physical.
Yeah, right. And it's very physical what you guys are doing.
It is.
You guys have to exercise more than we did on the police department, that's for sure. We could say no to the PT test every year. Can you guys say no to the PT test?
So they just kind of implemented something a few years ago. It's voluntary, but I think it's voluntary after, before a certain year you came in.
Oh.
But they kind of incentivize it. So if you score good enough, they'll give you money towards your HSA.
Okay.
So
Nice.
it's
We love that HSA.
yeah.
All right, so let's talk about your business, Gravity Party Rentals. So what was the inspiration for the business idea? Well, who had it? Whose idea was it?
So it was mainly my idea.
You okay with that, Keenan?
That's the truth. Corona happened. There's a few things that kind of got the idea rolling, but Corona happened, and that kind of just opened my eyes a little bit more to having something else, another set of skills that I could depend on versus like just my job in case we were to ever have to downsize, worst case scenario. I have a buddy that I knew from probably 9th grade. We met playing basketball, and this dude is a hustle maniac. Does everything. Shout out to Get Bouncy. So I kind of went with those two guys. They've been doing it for 7 years, just renting out moon bounces. And so I went with them probably 2-3 months roughly, just getting all the ins and outs. And when I rode with them, they made everything so easy. And I was like, bro, there's no way y'all can make this type of money. I felt like this should be against the law. It was so
You guys
easy.
doing $1 million a month? I mean, how much are we talking about here?
And for them, it's they have their goals and stuff like that. But as a kid, I always wanted to own my own business. I went to school for business, and you always have that broad, vague idea. I just want to run a business. Or what do you want to do? And it wasn't until now that I actually, let me put all these things together. And another thing that kind of got the ball rolling was you work with all these guys in the department. They be in like 27 years. They're getting ready for retirement. And you ask them, well, hey, what are you going to do after this? And the question is, I don't know. Yeah. Or, they got to work extra years because their kids in college and they got to pay the insurance, all that stuff. And some of these guys, you come across and you get kind of, I guess, burnt out over time, and, the attitude switched up or whatever. Because they do have to do that extra time, right? Because it's a financial burden kind of. And I don't want to be that guy. When I'm ready to retire, I want to go on my own terms, not because, I got a kid that I'm trying to get through college.
Yeah, as long as you're willing to hustle,
Right.
you can find something. to
Right.
do. Even if you don't have, that other branch, a hold of that other branch before you let go of the fire department branch, it's like you can find it. I did that. So I retired in 2018. I didn't have something immediately. I tried, but wasn't working out. It took me about 3 years before I launched on KTSA, with what we're doing now.
Right.
This led to everything else. So you can definitely find it. But I know the burnout you're talking about because you spend so much time there. What are your thoughts on that, Heather?
I mean, you see it in almost everything, even in business too, but it's a lot different to have burnout and also not have an exit strategy. That's where it gets really, I feel like, bad if you're just going and going and going and you get so burnt out you don't even have the energy to plan how to exit.
Right.
Yep.
And that's where you see a lot of people in the corporate world and in these high-level stress jobs where
Yeah.
they're finally making enough money or they're just so busy that by the time they get home, the energy it takes to plan an exit strategy just doesn't exist anymore.
No, so you're there 30 years, and then you're like, okay, ready to retire, but then what?
Keenan, does it take a lot of energy to run your guys' business?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's physically taxing for sure.
Oh, yeah, because you got set up, takedown, and all that stuff.
Right.
Don't you do enough of that at the fire department? You got to go do it some more with the big bounce stuff?
Right.
So, so what are your thoughts on, with respect to growing your business?
Mhm.
What is your guys' strategy on really I don't know where you're at on the revenue and stuff, but I know you guys are trying to grow, right?
Of
Right.
course.
What's
Yeah.
that growth strategy for you guys look like?
Well, we've been doing a lot of networking, trying to meet people. That always helps. Like I said, the social media aspect. We're actually trying to figure out every single day new ways that we can, try to break into this industry, and I guess meet the people that we need to meet that can actually help us.
Yeah,
well.
I was going to
So
ask,
real-
where are you networking?
So we're part of a couple organizations. We just joined the San Antonio Chamber of Commerce.
I'm big on that.
Maybe about a month or two ago. We also joined the African American Chamber of Commerce, and so they hold events and business oriented classes, talking about bookkeeping and all those sorts of things. But really, like the strategy is, to meet people and to get our brand and logo everywhere so that people know that we exist. We just started it in January officially, so we're still trying to break into the industry in that regard.
So real quick before we go deeper into that, because that's a whole conversation right there. You guys are party rentals. You started by kind of going and seeing the world of the bounce houses.
Right.
What exactly kind of party rentals do you guys do?
So we have the moon bounces,
Mhm.
we have the water slides, we have tables, chairs, we have concessions, which consists of cotton candy machines, snow cones, popcorn.
Kettle corn?
If you like kettle corn, you can do
Who
that.
doesn't like kettle corn?
Yeah, kettle corn is on point.
Why are you laughing?
No,
Well
it's
done,
good.
kettle corn.
I like it. And we also have games. So we have like the giant Connect 4, Jenga, and giant Pong, which is just trash cans with the little ball, giant beer pong if
Giant beer
you
pong.
need better reference. But that's pretty much all we have right now. We do have some inflatable projector screens, but we haven't really been pushing those too hard. We've been getting pretty consistent with the moon bounce and the water slides and stuff like that, and tables
Summertime.
and chairs. Yeah. It's not really good to be outside unless you're gonna be getting wet.
Yeah.
At least this summer.
Well, when it comes to figuring out where to target,
Right.
as far as networking and trying to grow those connections and stuff like that, I know Heather's been huge for me on that with my business. She's a business coach. Have you guys ever talked to a business coach just out of curiosity about what you guys are doing? Have a sit down and say, hey, what do you think? And what kind of value could they bring to what you guys are trying to do? Have you ever had that conversation with one yet?
We haven't had that yet. That's the point. Not just for the business wise of us getting customers, but we want to learn how to run this thing as smoothly and efficient as possible. So that's why we're trying to meet everybody, because we're always willing to learn how to do this better. this is like a legacy thing for us. We talk about it all the time. These are a set of skills that you really don't get to learn in school. And so,
yeah, you have a business degree, but in fact, when you said that, because I have a business degree as well, I was going to be like, well, did you learn how to do a business in there?
No.
I didn't want to put you on the spot, but same as me, I didn't.
And
learn
I probably
that.
like looking back, I should have went for entrepreneurship, but
Even
you really,
that.
Well, that's the thing with college business degrees these days and education in general. It gets you ready to enter the corporate workforce.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's my first question to anybody who comes to me and they're like, I'm going to go get my MBA. And I'm like, okay, what's the end goal? And if they say, I'm going to start a business, then I'm like, can I ask you some questions? Because an MBA helps you be an executive now. It helps you be the vice president. If you want to be a CEO, you have to know those ins and outs. But we were just talking in the lobby earlier, and somebody came up and we were talking about college degrees and and he was in a project with some guys that were MBAs and he kept clashing with them. Shout out to Joel. I'll have to have him come on the show and talk about this. But he said he was so different in his mindset from them that he went and he applied for an MBA program and got in, and he went for like a few classes, and then he realized that the things that they were teaching him would not be applicable in his business. Like it would actually derail what he was trying to do. So he dropped out because it's just a totally different skill set.
It really is. And that was one of the things that I realized when I was in college. So towards the end, I just kind of got like disengaged. I wasn't really into it as much because I was like, how does this translate what we're learning,
into legacy, into money.
Right. And some of the books are out, they're outdated by the time we get to the field. Like what are we doing, man?
I think school, seriously, is obsolete. The traditional educational system.
I think it's getting that way.
It's a waste of money.
I see it as a social exposure, and this is just my personal opinion.
That's the biggest thing I learned in college was the networking.
Yeah.
And how to talk to people.
Networking, maybe get a spouse out of it. Like I got my spouse out of college. I say it's worth the student loan debt, right?
Want to get married, go to college.
Yep.
So when it comes to a party, like you guys are a party rental company, there are benefits to that. What are some of those benefits? I mean, they might be obvious to me, but what are some big benefits of, as opposed to just doing it yourself, which has got to be a nightmare? Why would they call you guys? Keenan?
So the reason why I'd say people would call us would be because we try to make sure that we're very personable while we're doing our drop-offs. Once again, we think of everything as, I wouldn't say like we're targeting everybody as like a networking opportunity, but I guess just our nature, the way that we try to get to know people. We learn so much just in a small interaction, just while we're actually, dropping the bounces off. So we have that aspect, and we try to do other things as well that other people don't do in the industry, to where we can kind of set ourselves apart. But I mean, that's, if you have anything to add, I mean.
Yeah, we try to do, when you're planning a party, it's stressful. You got make sure that the guests and stuff are satisfied. Maybe you got to go get the food. Maybe you got to do this. So I think what we try to do is make it as seamless as possible, so you don't have to worry about anything. When you contact us, we've got everything that comes along with the rental. So we're bringing all the tools. We don't want you to have to worry about anything. Sometimes we don't, if you don't need to be there, you don't have to. But we do like for people to be there so they can show us exactly where they want it set up, because maybe you plan on putting something in this section of your yard, or maybe you want it in the front, or whatever the case. But yeah, we try to make it seamless as possible. You pick what you want. We'll tell you when we're coming, and that's it.
Now, is this mainly for kids, or is it also for adults and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, some of the stuff adults can get on. We have a big water slide that I know I've slid on it a few times. It's pretty fun, especially during the summer. Fun. It was crazy hot. But yeah, I'm just a big goofball anyway, so we've got some little videos. We haven't really put them out, but I've been on all the slides, and I'll do like some little goofy stuff.
But your target is like kids.
It's
and
mainly
parties
kids
and
and families and
so
stuff
you guys
like
do
that.
anything with schools?
We started getting into schools like towards the end of the school year. I had a friend of mine from high school that's a teacher, and they had a field day, invited us to come set up for the field day. So that's the next market we're trying to reach is like the churches, more like the corporate type businesses and stuff, so that we can go and do those things. We did one of my coworkers works with a baseball league, and they invited us out for a day, and we took all our inventory up to New Braunfels. So we're trying to do more stuff like that for sure.
Get more than one
right
and piece at a place.
Exactly, yeah, because it's so much easier, to just be there, see all the interaction, everybody's done, we pick up, we go home, versus you got to drive to this house, that house, this house, to pick up. Like, we're trying to serve San Antonio and some of the surrounding areas. So we've been to St. Hedwig, we've been to Divine, Poteet.
Done anything on the coast?
Nah, not that far. Not that far.
Not going to
Not
Corpus
that
Christi
far.
yet.
Not
Too
that
far to drive?
Oh,
Yeah,
Can I
maybe we
ask-
could expand out that area, but we ain't driving from San Antonio.
Not right now.
Mm-mm.
Is this something where you want to grow the business and kind of keep it to be your other business until you're ready to retire from the force? Or is it something that if it grew, you're ready to full-time step into it as soon as possible?
For me, I know me and Keenan are kind of different when it comes to this. At least I think. I'll probably just stay in. Honestly, I'll stay in the department and just have it run, and I can manage it. But we both have other ideas and stuff. Business
What are you looking to
ideas.
do?
Keenan, what's your goal?
So as far as retirement is concerned, it's up in the air. Yeah, I mean, I have.
Yeah,
I
we're
have
not
so
talking
much-
tomorrow.
He's still
17 years
right,
left.
right. He's almost at that halfway point.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still got a lot more time to think about it, but I guess it really just depends on where I end up in the department, and it's always changing. So it really just depends. I mean, the culture changes in the department just with anything else. So it has to do with there's too many determining factors. My family.
You get a new captain. You guys call them. I think captains are your main bosses, right? At those.
Yeah, captain.
You get a new one of those. Everything changes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everything changes
Exactly.
just like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm in it for the long haul. I'd like for this to be my baby, but also for it to leverage into some other stuff. We both talk about trying to get into the real estate market.
what are you guys doing for employees for the setup and takedown? Is it firemen? Is it you guys? Who's doing the setup? Is it college kids? Who are we talking about?
It's us. We have some family helping. Anthony's. We're kind of showing him the ropes, and then that's where we want to expand to next is having employees, so that when we're both on shift, we're not having to scramble to try to figure out, well, yes, we could help you, or what we do now is we do it the day before shift, and then if they want it, the day that we're working, they have it all day, and then we pick it up the following day.
Well, and that's one of the reasons I ask, because building a business where you're eventually going to step out of your full-time jobs to run it, you can build it differently from a business that you need to run while you are also doing your full-time job. So the structure of it, you build a business to fund what you want to do, not just a business that's it's like a toddler. If you don't set the boundaries and the systems up, they're just going to run your life.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's where, the summer kind of was an eye-opener for us going into next year. I mean, we're learning all this stuff on the fly, between meeting people, watching some videos. So it's been an adventure. It's been great. I've learned quite a good deal and met some great people. But
when did you launch it?
We officially launched it this year. Okay. We had one unit, and we were just kind of like toying with it, trying to figure out, how we were going to do it. And once the light bulb went off and the dust settled a little bit, we've been putting all our energy into it.
Have you used the firefighter thing from a marketing angle? Are you allowed to?
So It's kind of one of those touchy things, just
Yeah.
because we're city employees, and that spotlight could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. So
I think people just knowing that San Antonio Fire Department or San Antonio firefighters are the ones that are running the business.
Right.
You guys are coming and do the setup. The trust factor is going to be massive. It's
I
like, yeah,
agree.
come on over. It's
Yeah.
not a problem. I don't have a
Right.
problem with you guys being around my kids. Everything's good. You know what I mean? You're going to show up on time. You're going to do the thing on time. You're going to get out on time, right?
Right,
I like
right.
all of that. So that's huge.
yeah, and we
I would definitely take that angle.
we usually do tell customers, but usually on the drop off, we haven't used that as our marketing.
Is it common because you guys aren't the first business that I've met that's like firefighter run and retired firefighters? Is it because you shift work, right? You've
Yes.
got the extra time.
It's like 3 on and 27 off or something. Isn't it?
I wish
3
Man,
days on and the rest
I
of the
could
month
do
off.
that.
definitely be in it for the long haul. If that was
I could
Right.
do that. That's easy.
That's a
man.
good shift.
Put that in the bag.
no,
That's
it's
But to
easy.
be fair, they're 24-hour shifts, right? So
Right.
we're
Of
working
course.
3 days on. I promise we're not sleeping more than 10, 12 hours each of those days.
right.
I wish it worked like that.
Right,
man.
right.
Yeah.
It's, what is it, 3 on and...
That's
24 on, 48 off.
yeah.
Oh,
okay.
So one,
Oh, yuck.
1 and 2. Then if you go to EMS, then it's 1 and then 3. off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but that trust factor's got to be huge. I would definitely be leveraging that
Of course.
to,
Well-
to your benefit.
And I'd be interested to like explore what would it look like. I mean, I know everybody thinks hiring, right? And especially yours, it's labor intensive.
Yes.
It's not the sexiest, right? Setting up party rental stuff.
Yeah.
But there is a trust factor involved. Like, what would it look like instead of just hiring random people to hire? This could be a great side hustle for your fellow firefighters
That's
if they
true.
want to make some extra money on
Right.
their off shifts because you set it up in the morning, you take it down in the evening. It's probably not a high time commitment. It's just labor.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then that adds an extra layer to that marketing piece of like, you don't have to market it, but it's well known that your company is everyone who shows up to set up and break down is firefighter or firefighter adjacent. I'm not
Right.
sure if you're a firefighter.
Right, right.
Do a calendar or something. I don't know what.
Right?
In
Oh,
front
a
of
calendar, actually, that's a
in
great
front of
idea.
Every single inflatable, just have,
right.
yeah.
Hey, with every order, you get a free calendar.
Yeah.
That's your
It's
advertising.
from 2017, but it's okay.
Right.
Each of you on an
Right.
inflatable. Huh,
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
Yeah,
but
we've toyed with the idea a bit. I got a couple of buddies that are in the department that I wouldn't say asked like to see if they would want to come and actually do the job, but just kind of toyed with the idea to see if it's something that they would want to make side hustle money on. Because as of right now, we're kind of tapering off on overtime. The amount of overtime that everybody is
with the city?
was so used to,
Yeah.
back in 2020 because of COVID and stuff. So as of now, I mean, there's a lot of guys who are kind of hurting to.
Yeah,
to
mama
wanna
wants
get
and
that
if
into
those
cash,
guys
man.
could be
Right.
talking to their network, like
Right.
you don't need a big networking presence to be like, hey, your kid's having a birthday party or you're having an event. Do you want
Oh yeah,
like a party rental?
right.
Like I know how to set that up, and then they are the ones that.
That's why I think social media is so important for you guys,
Huge.
man.
No,
Being
yeah,
up there
it's-
every time you do something, it should be on social media
Yeah. We've
and packaged well.
It's been doing pretty good.
Yep.
Learning
Are you
all
tagging?
that stuff.
You tagging the folks that you're visiting,
Oh,
so
yeah.
it gets into there. Okay, good.
Yeah,
You
we
got a
try
good
to
strategy.
run. We also try to run promotions as well. If you tag us in some of the stuff that you're doing, or if you give us a review, that's a big one. We're really
Yeah.
trying to work on those Google reviews right now.
Yeah, give them a free calendar if they give you a
Right?
Google review. I'm not gonna let
I
this
can't wait till we
calendar
come
thing
back
go.
up here and give you a calendar.
Mark is
man.
gonna get a calendar one
you are.
day, and like we're gonna insist that you
As
put
long as
that
you
up.
got to put it, you got to hang it right there on the fridge, man, so you can
Oh,
see
yeah.
us every time.
No,
that
I
you,
need him to be on
open.
one of these walls. So
Yeah.
every time he
Yeah.
has a
Yeah.
show.
right behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do one for you, man. Good for you, Mark.
So if somebody's thinking about wanting to do, set up for their kids' birthday party or something big going on, what's the best way to get in touch with you guys?
Website is a good way, gravitypartyrentals.com. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Gravity Party Rentals, all one word. And we also were passing out business cards and brochures wherever we can leave them. So
Cool. Keenan, any parting thoughts, man?
Yeah, bookwithgravitypartyrentals.com.
See, you got all serious. All right, guys, this was a great time. I had a lot of fun. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. As we wrap up the show, a quick reminder, check out our latest podcast or catch video versions of the show anytime by visiting our website at satalkradio.com. That's going to be it for us for this one. You guys have a great week, and we'll see you on the next one. Good job, guys.
Appreciate you. Thank you.